Welcome back to the channel, everybody. You know what? It's time to review a different style of bike. This is a moped style e-bike. It's by Windone. It's called the K2. And the cool thing about this, well, it's full suspension. So you want to learn more? Well, let's get into it. When it comes to the assembly of this bike, it's really not that bad. The only part I see where you're going to have an issue with is installing this rear shock. To do that, you need to lift this frame up and make sure you line it up. But besides that, the rest of the installation should be a breeze. Now, this bike does come to you as a Class 3 e-bike, which means we should get up between 25 to 28 miles an hour. I'm not really sure yet. I haven't taken it out for its fastest speeds, but 25 to 28 miles an hour via this full throttle here on our right-hand side, this cadence sensor down below, and your 5 levels of pedal assist. This bike weighs 88 pounds, but has a maximum payload capacity of 330 pounds. And right now, this bike sells for $799 and comes with a 1-year warranty. Now, when it comes to the style, well, this is it. It doesn't come in a step-through model or anything like that, but they do say that the average rider height should be 5'5" all the way up to 6'8". And when it comes to colors, well, it only comes in a black, which is fine with me because I think these kind of bikes look cool in all black color. Windone says the K2 can go up to 28 miles just using throttle only, or 46 miles using pedal assist. Now, if you've seen any of my reviews before, you know that I'm going to abuse this bike, and we will not be getting anywhere near that kind of mileage. The K2 comes with a 48-volt, 500-watt rear hub motor. It has a peak power of 700 watts and 72 Newton meters of torque. It has a 7-speed drivetrain with a Shimano tourney derailleur and your standard Shimano 7-speed thumb shifter. For stopping power, you have RSX 2-piston hydraulic brake system with 180 millimeter rotors. It comes with dual crown forks on the front. They're by Sandpin. They have 70 millimeters of travel. You cannot lock them out, but you can preload them. The rear shock is non-branded, but it does have 10 millimeters of travel. These wheels are 5-spoke and they're magnesium. They look pretty cool on this bike. The tires are unbranded, but they are 20 by 4 inch. They are puncture resistant and they have a nice medium off-road pattern on them. The battery is a 48-volt, 13 amp hours with 624 watt hours of power on it. It does have an on-off button right here, so you have to turn the battery on to start up the bike. And you can charge it up right here using your 2-amp charger, which means you can charge this up in about 6 to 7 hours. You can charge it while it's on the bike, or you can take it off the bike and charge it somewhere else. To remove the battery, it comes with 2 keys. You're just going to put the key in here. You're going to turn it all the way forward. The battery easily slides out. Right here is an indicator that shows you how much battery power is in the battery. To put it back on, just going to slide it back into place, turn your key, and you're good to go. The Windone K2 is U82L49 certified. It also has a couple of IPX ratings. We have IPX4 for the bike itself and IPX5 for the battery. Additional features include you have metal fenders right here. You have aluminum pedals. You have these really cool foot pegs on the back. That's why you can have a passenger, because this seat right here is 23 inches long. And it also comes with BMX handlebars that you can adjust forward and back. Let's talk about size and fit. Now, when you take a look at the bike itself is 66 inches long. I am 5'9" with a 32-inch inseam. And this is how you sit on the bike. Now, here's what I like about it. A lot of these bikes that I've ridden, they're short. Like they're really low. And I like the fact that this one sits up higher. It just feels more natural. And then you have your BMX handlebars right here, which you can bring forward or back. You can sit up closer on the seat, depending on what your height is, to make it easier to pedal. Or your taller riders, and you can sit way back there. Cockpit Operations. On your left-hand side, you have a very smooth, medium-type rubber right here. Now, this bike, normally this is your front brake, but for this bike, this is your rear brake, and then right here is your control panel. To turn the bike on, first, you have to make sure that your battery is turned on. Once that happens, you're just going to push this button down here until your screen comes on. As you can see, it has a nice color screen. Here's your battery indicator giving you 6 bars inside there. This will show your speed as you're riding. This is your pedal assist levels. And then this shows your trip mileage. By hitting this button right here, you can bounce between odometer, max speed, average speed, and it goes back to trip. This button right here turns on your headlight. When you do that, the screen dims and your headlight comes on. To reset the trip mileage, ours has already been reset. You're going to push this side button here and the minus button, and it's going to reset the mileage. To turn the light back off, you're just going to push this button right here and your screen brightens up. I like these bigger headlights that are on these moped style bikes. They are very noticeable and they look really cool on the bike, and they should provide you with a ton of light for nighttime riding. The bike does come with a rear tail light, but it is not integrated into the bike. There is a button down here you got to push to turn it on. On your right hand side, you have your front brake lever. Make sure you remember that. Right here is your thumb shifter. This clicks it down in gear, and this clicks it up in gear. Plus, it also comes with a horn. That's loud. It is now time for my favorite part, where I get to take the bike out and run it through all of my tests. All right, guys, here we are on the 606 here in Chicago. This is where I start off all of my reviews. Right now, we are in pedal assist 0, which means we are not getting any assist to the bike. It is just me and the bike. Now the display is on and you can see what is going on, but it is not giving me any assist when it comes to pedaling. I have it in gear 4 and we're cruising at like 10 miles an hour. Now for a change, we finally have a beautiful day here in Chicago where it's a high of 72. As opposed to the 90s that I've been doing these reviews in. So today's gonna be a nice ride. And for a change, we have no rain scheduled. So now let's go ahead and test out the throttle on this bike. We're in pedal assist 1. We're gonna find out if it is dictated on the pedal assist level, but it doesn't feel like it is. I mean, we've already just launched out of the gate. So it doesn't feel like it's gonna throw you off the bike. And yeah. And it looks like 28 miles an hour is our top speed with throttle only. Let's go ahead and check out our pedal assist levels. And we're not going to be using throttle on this. We have it in pedal assist 1, gear 4, and we're going to see what our speeds are in each one of these levels. And right now, pedal assist level 1 is going to take you to 9 miles an hour. Let's try pedal assist number 2. Pedal assist number 2 has you rocking at 12 miles an hour. Let's try 3. Pedal assist number 3 has you rocking at 19 miles an hour. Pedal assist number 4 has you comfortably cruising at 22 miles an hour. We are going to turn around. There are way too many people ahead of me. Pedal assist number 5 will have you also cruising at 28 miles an hour. This is our GPS version here. This is our display. And right now it's showing that it's about a mile fast. So I'm thinking that we need to adjust the tire size to get it just right. We'll do that later. I don't have that info in front of me. So we're just going to know that it's going to be 1 mile ahead when it comes to miles per hour. When it comes to these moped style bikes, you know, and they say you can take them off-road, but I ride mountain bike trails and various bikes on those kind of trails, and there's no way I would take this kind of bike on a mountain bike trail because of this full twist throttle right here. If you were trying to control the bike and like going around, this thing would always be giving you pressure moving forward. So it would always be giving you power going forward, and that would not be ideal. So although they say that this can be taken off road, well, it better be some like light dirt paths or like some gravel roads, because you wouldn't want to do any kind of single track stuff with this, as it would possibly be pretty dangerous. I feel like the grips are going to be just fine. I do think that this is a kind of display that I'm going to have a hard time seeing. So far not, but we've been in the shade a lot. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see it, so I'm going to try to keep it pretty forward for you. But so far, I mean, I can see it, so that's really not a thing. This seat, I think it's going to be pretty comfortable, or at least I'm hoping for this review. I've been on a couple like this where the seats just really made you want to get off on it before you even finish the trip. So let's go ahead and do our off-road part. We're doing just fine. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Oh boy. We are smacking around some stuff. Yeah, see, like there was a couple parts where I would like hang onto the grip and it just launched me forward. So, oh, there we go. Just keep this thing on the road and you'll be good to go. You can, yeah, you can cut across stuff, no problem. Okay, I was hoping that guy would see me. You can cut across stuff like I just did, no problem. Just keep in mind about this throttle over here. It is time for the hill climb, since we know that this bike doesn't matter what pedal assist level you're in. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna put it in 5 anyways. All right, this hill has a part of it's 15% grade and then part of it's 20% grade. So let's see how this bike does by doing throttle only. I mean, it feels like we're gonna make it. Here's where it starts to get more of an angle. It's where it gets steeper, and then a dip, and then steeper again. And then at the very end, yeah, no problem. This bike had no problem making it. I didn't figure that it would, but sometimes they just don't. But this one did it. Now I can tell, like, with this rear suspension, that it comes in handy on a road like this. It does kind of like pop a little bit though. It makes like these little popping noises. So it's not as smooth as one would want a full suspension bike to be, but it is a full suspension bike, so that is better than nothing. All right, now we're going to do it with pedal assist only. I have it in gear 4. We have it in pedal assist number 5, and let's ride it through. Okay, so that only took almost like a 90-degree rotation for it to kick in. And yeah, if you were just seeing a hill and just pedaling it, you're gonna make it up no problem. Ooh, hit the horn. We have already dropped a bar on the battery indicator, so I have a feeling this is going to be a short-range bike. So let's go ahead while we're over here. We're going to do a speed test, but timed. I want to see how quick this bike gets up to 28 miles an hour just using throttle only. There it is. We hit it, and then it went back down to 27 because we went into the wind. But we did hit that 28 miles an hour. All right, now we're going to try it with pedal assist only. I have it in pedal assist number 5. We're going to start off in gear 3. Oh, almost took off before hitting it. All right, let's go. Kicking it up. We're kicking it up. We are cranking. I've got it in the highest gear it can go. Boom, 15 seconds. So half the time it takes for you to hit 28 miles an hour in throttle, you can do it in pedal assist. Woo, this horn's easy to hit. All right, guys, it is time for the brake test. We're gonna go ahead and shoot this thing down here. We're going to 28 miles an hour because this is a class 3 bike, so there's no need to test it in class 2 mode. Oh, ooh, you have to remember your back brake is over here. So it stopped in 34 feet. I have a feeling that the speedometer is going to be off since we show that this bike is going faster than what it actually is. So we'll be checking that out here in a few minutes. I was wanting to make it all the way out here to Lakeshore Trail, and I'm about there. And what I've been doing is I have been pedaling this entire time in pedal assist number 3, just to ensure that I would have enough battery power out here so I can do things like the sand test and show you guys the beautiful Chicago skyline. Now, right now, we're just making it up and over this hill, no problem. I have already dropped 2 bars on the battery. I figured I might have been down to 3 by now. Oh, and it just went to 3. Oh, this hill kind of took it out some, so we're gonna definitely be in trouble here, because after I do the sand test, that's gonna put a hurting on this battery. All right, guys, this is what I've been trying to work to get to. Right here is the Chicago skyline. We're gonna go ahead and do the sand test. We're gonna try throttle only, and then we're gonna end up pedaling. We're just gonna, whatever it takes to make it through this sand, that's what we're gonna end up doing. But guys, check out that view. Oh, this is why I love coming out here. We only have 3% battery, or we only have 3 bars on the battery, which means this sand test is gonna put me in dire trouble making it home. So we're gonna see if it's gonna make it and if I'm gonna make it. So let's go. Oh yeah, we are cutting right across. Oh my gosh, this thing is, we are just tearing right through the sand. Oh, that was too sharp of a turn. Oh, stay out of the, they have it lined out here for a volleyball thing. Woo, if I can keep the wheel straight, we're good. It's more me than it is this bike. There we go, finally. Nice. Good. This bike will not only get you to the beach, but it'll get you through it if you can keep your little wheel straight. Here is why I always love to come up here. This is the beautiful Chicago skyline. And this is Chicago in the summer. It doesn't get any better than this, especially in a 70-degree day. At 72 degrees, not too many people are out. We have a nice breeze going over here by the lake. This is Lake Michigan, in case you didn't know. And yeah, just take in the view. Look at this divvy bike. This thing has been pulled out of the lake. You can see all the nastiness of it. This thing looked a lot worse the other day, but it rained on it, so now it's a little bit cleaned up some, but people just abuse these divvy bikes, and this is one of the electric ones. So this is why you want to have a bike of your own instead of using these divvy bikes, because you don't know what kind of abuse they've been through. Now that I've put some mileage on this bike, that rear suspension no longer makes any noise. So you just have to let it break in, and after that, it becomes silent. All right, guys, before we turn around, I figure we better go ahead and do a mileage check. Now, the battery is showing that we have 3 bars on it, which means we have half of what we used to have. The display is showing we're at 15.7, and Strava is showing that we are at 14.45. So as you can tell, and as I predicted, this display is going to show that you've gone farther than you've actually gone. Now from here, I got to turn around, I got to head back. I'm not sure how long this battery is going to last, but it is a beautiful day in Chicago. I mean, come on, look at that. Look at that. What a great day to go for a ride. So let's keep going. During this mileage check, the bike went off. It turned off on its own. And then when it turned back on, it now has 4 bars, but I'm pretty sure that's going to drop really quick. I do have to tell you that this bike is relatively easy to pedal, and that's what I've been doing the entire time to conserve battery power. If I wasn't really going for distance, I'd be throttling this around most of the time. But since I am trying to get as much as I can out of this battery without going like super slow or going super fast, well, then this is what we're doing. Now, when it comes to the seat, you know what? It's doing just fine, which makes me happy because sometimes these seats are just rough. As expected, we dropped down to 3 bars pretty quickly. Right now we're just using throttle only, and we're just feathering it so that we can keep around 20 miles an hour. You know, when it comes to this horn, I think you need to take the grip, the whole throttle there, and just twist it, because this horn is super easy to hit. I've hit it multiple times without meaning to. So you might want to move that around a little bit so that's not one of the things that you end up doing. I mean, I like having the horn, and I like how loud it is. It's just too easy to hit. So I believe that by twisting, loosening this up, twisting it, that'll definitely put it out of the way. So where you can just hit it with your thumb, but you won't just accidentally bump into it. All right, we have dropped down to 2 bars, but I'm still going to throttle through as we are only about like 5 or 6 miles from home. And I'm just curious if this throttle is going to get us home. Now, if we do drop too low and I'm not close enough to the house, I will start pedaling. Now, I spent the first half of this review pedaling this bike, and, you know, that's not something I normally do. And now I'm just riding it around throttle only, as I figure most people would do if you have this bike. And I got to tell you, it's a pretty good time. This thing runs pretty smooth, and everything is pretty comfortable. Yeah, riding at throttle is way nicer than pedaling it. I have decided to take a longer route home. We still have 2 bars on the battery. So instead of just going up and down the 606 trail, well, we're going to take this longer route home because we seem to be doing pretty good so far when it comes to just using the throttle. One thing I can tell you about this battery dropping down in power is that I have the throttle all the way back, and we're at 25 miles an hour as opposed to 28. You know, when it came to this battery, I felt like the first 2 bars dropped rather quickly, but these other 4 are hanging on rather well. So if you start to drop those 2 and you feel like you haven't gone that far, well, just note that the other ones are going to go farther. Youch. There's a car accident here. We're just running through glass, and that's why I use flat out, so I don't have to worry about flat tires doing that kind of stuff. We are down to 1 bar, so I think this bike is doing really good when it comes to the battery management. I'm glad I kind of went the longer way, but now I got to go back onto the 606 trail because I don't know how long this battery is going to last. And if it lasts as long as that second battery did, well, we're going to be putting some more miles on this bike for sure. But it seems like Once we get down to this last bar and under that bar, that's when things start to get interesting. I am starting to feel this seat. I think when it comes down to seats like this, no matter how nice it is, at some point you're going to start to feel it. We just made it back onto the 606, and now the battery is flashing. The battery bar is flashing. So we're definitely going to turn around. I am 1 mile from the house. So let's see how far this thing's going to last and see how it performs. All right, it is pulsing right now, and it is struggling. You know, I was just talking about how, you know, if it lasted as long as bar number 2 did, and it is definitely not. So yeah, we are like pulsing and jerking as it's trying to give me all the power that it can. Now let's go ahead and we'll try pedaling it for a little bit here and see how that feels, and see if we get any pulsing with that as well. So when you're pedaling, you're not getting any pulsing. So everything's running smooth. We're just not going as fast as we would be if we had full battery. So when this starts to happen, your best bet is to just switch over to pedal and just lay off the throttle. We're in pedal assist level 3, and we are starting to pulse. We just went up a small hill, and it did not seem to like that. Let me see what happens if we put it in pedal assist number 2. Will it still pulse? Like if we're just lowering the amount of assist that the bike is giving. Yeah, so see, now we're not pulsing. But if I put it back into 3, yeah, now it gets pulsy again. So here's the deal. When it starts to pulse, I hope you're close to home. All right, guys, I made it back. The battery ran out just as I was coming up to the garage, which I think was pretty good because at that point it was providing me no assistance, but I was already here at home. So what the display shows is that we went 26.5 miles, but Strava says that we went 24.41 miles. So like I mentioned before, because this reads a little bit fast, it's going to show that you've gone farther than what you've actually gone. Now, towards the end of this ride, I started to feel this seat. So you might want to keep that in mind. It is firm, it's a nice seat, and it did last longer than some other ones that I have reviewed when it comes to bikes like this. Love the fact that it has hydraulic brakes. Okay, this is the first moped style e-bike for $799 that has hydraulic brakes on it, right? So they might have skimped on some other things like no integrated tail light, but I would rather have hydraulic brakes on a bike that can go up to 28 miles an hour than I would an integrated tail and brake light. Grips were fine. I am going to take this whole thing and move it because I kept hitting the horn accidentally, and that just that got a little bit annoying. Surprisingly enough, I was able to see the display during the entire day in the bright sun or not. It did dim down some, but I was able to see everything that I wanted to see. Overall, this is the best moped style e-bike that I have reviewed in this price category. Now, if you are interested in the Windone K2, well, I'm going to go ahead and leave links in the description down below. And if I have a discount code, which I think I do, I'm going to go ahead and throw that down below as well. This bike likes to climb, it likes to ride through the sand, and it just likes to cruise down the road when you're using throttle. The first half of this video, I pedaled. And this is also the first moped style e-bike that was actually comfortable to pedal, because I pedaled all the way to Lakeshore Trail, and that's a good 6 miles. And it was fine pedaling on this bike. Now, on the way back, I used nothing but throttle, and that was way more fun than it was pedaling this bike. And when it came to the very end, when the bike started pulsing, I ended up having to pedal all the way back to the house, but it was not a problem at all. So that's it. That's my review on the Windone K2. And I want to thank you for watching. So until I see you again, enjoy the ride.